everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man here. In today's episode, we are going vintage, back to the year 1979. This game was made by Milton Bradley. It's a 3 to 6 player game. It is the Mork and Mindy card game. Now, in this game, it plays similar to Uno, where a card is played, and you either have to play that same card or the same color of card. Now, there's also special cards in the deck where if you play them, you have to say special things. Otherwise, you get hit with 2 cards. And then you also have these styrofoam eggs that come into play. And if you're not able to grab one of these when a Nanu card is played, then you also must draw 2 cards. And just like in Uno, if you haven't figured that out already, the first player to run out of cards wins the game. So let's head on over to the gamers table, where I'm going to show you how to play Nanu, the Mork and Mindy card game. Alright everybody, here we are at the gaming table with the Mork and Mindy card game by Milton Bradley. Let's go ahead and show you what is in the game. You can see what you're going to have come with 4 styrofoam eggs, and you're also going to have a set of 84 cards. And these cards pretty much consist of people that were in the show, or little items here like the Erfendingle. You have the Z card. You also have, oh, I guess these are kind of facing each other here. Let's see if we can, there we go. Let's see if we can find some of these. Like you got Cora of each color. You got the Werble. You got the Oopadoo. And then you have the Nanu card that's right here with more coming out of the egg. That's why, hence the eggs that are in this game. You got the Gazuba. And of course you got Mindy. She's the wild card. And so on. Frinkle. So those are a few that you'll find in this game. The Diddy-Wah. All right. So what you're doing is you're going to go ahead and shuffle these cards. And so you do a quick little shuffling. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to place say there's 4 players, then you would put 3 eggs out. You're always going to put 1 less egg than the number of players that are out there. So say you have a 4-player game, you're only going to put 3 eggs out there. All right. And the instructions are actually inside the box. So you don't have to worry about paper instructions on this one. There are the instructions inside the box, which is something I always enjoy. Now, so what you're going to do, like I said, we're going to go ahead and mix these cards up. And you're going to go ahead and deal 6, 7. See, I don't have all these face down, but that's okay. Just going to show you how this works. 7 cards to each player. Okay, so each player gets 7 cards. You're going to go ahead and place these out to everybody. Just going to put, just a few cards here. I'm not going to take the time to count 7. And then you're going to go ahead and place like a discard pile. And you're going to go ahead and turn the first card up. Now, in this turn, what you're going to do is you're actually going to either put down a Werble that you have in your hand or something of the same color. Now, you see this is like an orange color. So what I can do is you see here, I don't have any Werbles, but I do have a Nimnol. Okay, so this is a card I can actually play because it's the same color. All right. Now, once you place a card down, you're actually going to say the name of the character. So you're going to say, Nimnol. Okay, and then the next person will go ahead and look at their cards and see what they have in here. Now, do they have a Nimnol or do they have an orange color? Now, he doesn't look like he has a Nimnol in here, but he does have a Pooty Muckle that's in there, which is the same color as the orange. So he would go ahead and place Pooty Muckle, okay, and so on. And you're going to do that player to player. Now, when you play the, when you don't say the name, say you forgot to say it, say you just kind of take your card and you just place it down and you don't say it, then another player will point their finger at you and go, Zzz. In that case, you must draw 2 cards from the pile, but you don't want to do that because the first player to get rid of all their cards wins the game. All right, so you definitely don't want to be caught not saying the name of the character when you laid it down. So if you just kind of laid this, I'm going to go, Zzz. And then, of course, you have to draw 2 cards, and then you move on to the next player. And while you're doing that, while you're drawing the 2 cards, you must say Shazbot for each card. So when you do it, when you draw the cards, you're going to go Shazbot, Shazbot, as you pull each one of these cards and place it into your hand. So you got to make sure you say that, because if you don't say that, zzz, then guess what? You're going to draw 2 more cards. So all these little caveats you got to remember. So if you don't say the name when you place the card down, you must say the name. Otherwise, you get 2 cards. If you don't say Shazbot, as you're grabbing the cards, you also can get zzz, and they'll hit you up to 2 cards as well. If you cannot play a card in your hand, say you're looking at it and like, shoot, I don't have any Pooty Knuckles or Pooty Muckles, and I don't have any orange, then what happens is this. You must draw a card from the pile and say Shazbot as you... So every time you draw a card, you need to say Shazbot, in other words. So even if you don't have a card, you just Shazbot, as you're grabbing a card, you add it, and then move on to the next play. Once you use up the draw pile, you're going to shuffle the discards, and then you're going to place them face down for a new draw pile. Now, let's go over some of these cards here, like the Cora card. Let's see if we can find a Cora card. Let's see if we can find one here. I hate that these are all different. I got them all different, all going all different ways. Cora. Here's a Cora card. So you can see on the card here, it says next player loses turn. So that's something, some of these cards, these character cards, will have little things on here when you play them. So when you play the Cora card on any match-colored card or another Cora card, you say, aha! Or you'll be zzz. And the next player loses his turn and must say Shazbot. If he doesn't, then he can zzz you, and you must draw 2 cards. So make sure you say, aha, when you do this one. And it does say right up here what you need to say. So you can remember what to say when you, aha, that kind of thing. And then you go what's off that. Say with Zaba. Zaba, this one is a give a card to an opponent. Okay. Then you have some other ones in here like Fredzo. Oh, that's the same thing I just showed you. There's also a, let's see here, the Z card. Player of your choice draws 2. So you can choose whoever you want to have on there. There's also an Orson card in here. Let's see if we can find Orson in here. We have an Orson card in here somewhere. Who has Orson? Orson, come to play here. Where's Orson at? Let's see if we can find Orson in here. There we go. There's a Mork card. Fredzo, we already showed you that. Orson. Player of your choice draws 2. Okay, so that's almost the same as the... Oh, that's a Z. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was an Orson card. The Orson card says Z, and that's when you choose 2. There's also the Mindy card, which is the wild card. Now, in this game, what you do is you play a Mindy card on any card because it's wild. You name the color you want it to be, and the next player must play a card of that color. So you must say, you know, pink or yellow as you put that down. That's all you need to do for that. And now you got the Nanu Nanu card. What happens when you get this Nanu Nanu card? When you play a Mork card on any card, you must say, Nanu Nanu, and grab for an egg. Okay? Once you do that, once you have an egg in your hand, you are safe. Now, that's why you always have 1 less egg than the number of players. As soon as you say that, don't grab more than 1 egg or you'll be sent back to orcs. So make sure you don't go, ha, I'm going to grab 2. No, you can't do that. You just grab 1 egg. All right? Whoever does not get an egg has to say Shazbot and must draw 2 cards from the pile. Now, if you manage to get an egg, but you forgot to say Nanu Nanu, then you get Z, and you're forced to draw 2 cards. Then you put the eggs back in the center of all players and continue the game. The next player can play any card on top of a Mork card. So that's pretty much any card you want to play on top of a Mork card. Most important thing is remember to say Shazbot whenever you must draw cards, lose a turn, or are given a card by another player. If you don't, you'll be Z by the Orkin Finger of Fate. And like I said, you be the first player to play all your cards, and you win the game. Now let's head on over to the game room, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Mork and Mindy card game. You know, honestly, it's not a card game for me. It's not a game for me. I am not big on games that are, you have to grab something, or you're slapping your hand on something, because people get hurt. I mean, you're sitting there, oh, you know, and you're hitting arms, you're hitting hands, and people get hurt, especially when you get really involved in it, which is cool. I mean, when you're all, oh, but, you know, I don't know. Plus I'm worried the game will get ruined. I mean, these eggs, I mean, they're kind of solid, but if you're like, oh, you know, I mean, you could probably crush this thing, or maybe put a finger through it. I mean, I don't know. I get worried too much. And then when people slap their hands on cards, which you don't do in this game, I mean, the cards can get all mangled and bent and everything else. And I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. I don't know. I just don't care for those kind of games. And this one, when you're when you're grabbing an egg, I mean, you got, you know, all these hands coming when you got 3 to 6 players, especially when you have 6 players going on. I mean, it could be pretty crazy. It could be pretty crazy. And I'm just not a fan of that. So And also, I mean, when you have a great advantage, when you have your cards in your hand, you know you have a Nanu Nanu card in your hand. And you already know you're going to go, no. I mean, it's almost an advantage. You know you're going to get that little head start to grab that egg first. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in the other game I showed you, that goat cheese pizza game, at least you're drawing a card and you're turning it away from you and placing it down where you don't even know what you're going to draw. So that's a little better, but in that game you're slapping down. So, which I don't like that either. But so I don't know. I mean, it doesn't rank very high on my list here on this one. I didn't really watch the show when it was on. I know a lot of people did. A lot of people enjoyed it. I might have caught a couple episodes, and so if you love the vintageness of the show and you really enjoyed it, then yeah, I would highly recommend you have this for your collection if you're a Mork and Mindy fan, or even a Robin Williams fan at that point, which I am a huge Robin Williams fan. What about the card? I don't know about the board game. I don't have the Mork and Mindy board game. I know there's one out there. I have no idea how it plays. So if you have the board game, tell me, is it better than this card game? Is it just as, is it the same? Is it not as good? I'd be curious to see what your comments are on that, and your comments on this. Do you have the game? Do you like it, dislike it, all that good stuff? So, well, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, everybody, happy gaming.